Hello, welcome back to New Rockstars Debrief. I'm Erik Voss, and joining me today are Sam Bashor.
Hello.
Maude Garrett.
That's my name.
And our very special guest, Yolanda Machado. She's a film critic and pop culture writer for outlets like The Wrap and Vice. Welcome, Yolanda.
Hi, happy to be here. Thank you.
Well, great to have you. Today we're going to be talking about the Stranger Things Season 3 trailer. We're also going to talk about the new Toy Story 4 trailer, some possibly fake footage for Avengers trailers, and a new Game of Thrones poster in which the Iron Throne comes to life.
Or does it?
Or does it? Also, don't forget that you can check our, go over to our iTunes or the Himalaya app and listen to this episode in the form of a podcast. And if you do stop by, please rate and review us. We're actually trying to climb the podcast charts. We've been doing a pretty good job.
Where you at?
Where are we at? Do we have numbers?
We tend to be at like 10 or 15.
What?
Wow.
10 or 15?
That's only 14 or 9 away from number 1. We want to beat Ellen, guys. Is Ellen at the top of the podcast charts?
We gotta beat Ellen.
We
What's
gotta
she
beat Ellen.
talking about? Not Endgame.
Yeah.
Not that much.
Yeah, she's just dancing. I don't know how you can see her dancing on the podcast.
Okay, we don't need to get personal here.
That's right. The only thing we need to get personal about is this Stranger Things trailer.
Okay.
Segue. Forced. But, okay, so this trailer dropped this week. It's for Season 3. If you remember, Season 1 took place around Thanksgiving, Christmas. Season 2 took place around Halloween. So this season happens around the 4th of July. We got a good old-fashioned 80s summer, folks. The trailer opens with Dustin returning home from summer camp. It apparently is Camp Nowhere, according to his t-shirt and hat. If you look at it, it looks like some kind of nerd camp or computer camp, math camp.
Nerd camp.
Yeah, I mean, this is the guy who came back and he looks like he's erecting a weather vane or a radio tower. So
Erecting a weather vane?
That's
What?
You need to. Yeah, I was gonna make a gross joke, but he's a kid. Now Steve has a job at the new Starcourt Mall, which is gonna factor into a big role in this season. Lucas has a girlfriend. Good for you. 11 goes to the mall now, just like Robin in How I Met Your Mother. She goes to the mall. But now, for us fans of the show,
Canada.
things are still roughly the same. There's still monsters in this unluckiest Midwestern town of Hawkins, Indiana, plus a great 80s soundtrack. There's 2 songs in this trailer. There's Motley Crue's Home Sweet Home, and then it blends into The Who's Bob O'Reilly, creating this whole idea of like teenage wasteland, fitting in with the theme of these characters are moving into the new teenager phase. Is the gang going to split up? Are they going to stay together? Are some of them getting girlfriends where other ones are just getting radio
Well,
towers?
how old are they now? 12?
They got to be older than that, I think.
They're like
14.
13, 14.
Oh, yeah, 14,
They were
you're in
13
trouble.
in the last one, I think, so they're 14 or 15.
Oh,
Dustin-
you're in big trouble
Dustin's 21 now. He plays really
now. Where were
young.
you, Maud?
Yeah,
What
I
have
know.
you been doing?
Age is
grew those
quick.
teeth, yeah.
Where are those teeth?
Now, the big question people are wondering about, of course, is the new monster that shows up at the end of this trailer. It looks super
Oh, no,
Cronenberg-y and like almost like John Carpenter's The Thing. It's really nasty.
It's insect-like, and it's got
insect-like.
really big legs sprawling out the side, but then
Looks
it's
like
got
some
little
crab
front
legs.
pincers, which are like, take my
Yeah.
strong hand,
Yeah.
child.
Do you guys
A
remember
strong hand.
Tremors? It kind of looks like the
Oh.
graboid's like tongue. It
It's
looks
like every 80s monster there was.
It's doing great.
Rolled into one.
Yeah.
And a little bit slimier.
Yeah.
it's like a goop on it.
Now, there's a lot of different theories about what this could be. It could be related to the Demogorgon. It does look like it has some kind of those inner rows of teeth. It has almost a similar horizontal multi-armed shape as the Mind Flayer from Season 2, which is still alive, even though it's more, I would say, smokier, more Lovecraftian. Here's the theory that I'm going with. If you look at this trailer footage, you see some of Billy, and he's the new, like, sex pot, Rob Lowe, St. Elmo's Fire. He almost hooks up with Mrs. Wheeler.
That's right.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
There's a shot of him working as a lifeguard because everyone in the 80s, and when they weren't at
Anyone
the mall,
get
they were in the pool.
Sandlot vibes from that one?
Oh, definitely.
Oh my God, Wendy Pepper. What's her
Wendy
name?
Peppercorn?
Is it Peppercorn?
I think so.
Or Peppercorn?
Peppercorn. Yeah.
Yes, I
Yeah.
knew.
That now problematic scene. The but he gets this nasty bite on his arm. You see him in the showers, and it's this really gross, veiny looking infection. And there are episodes entitled The Bite. That's late in the season, but early in the season there's an episode called The Missing Lifeguard.
He's getting bitten.
He's getting bitten, but by whom? Well, we see this girl, I believe she's a new character named Heather. She checks him out before Miss Wheeler checks him out. And we see her in another shot. It looks like it's the same character getting sucked into the upside down, like in the
Eek.
sunken place kind of abyss.
Hey, real quick, thank God it's not Will again. Can that
I
guy catch a break
Yeah,
this
give
season? Can he just
yeah.
have fun and not be like traumatized the
Well, it
entire
does look like it's
time?
raining inside his house.
Yeah.
He's crying over
Oh,
pictures
God.
of
Yeah,
he and his
it
friends.
looks like
Poor
he's not
Will.
great.
Yeah.
He's better.
I
He's
have a
better
theory
than
about-
starving to death
He's
alone.
a foot shorter than Finn because it's like he's been stunted emotionally and
poor guy.
physically for those 2 seasons.
Yeah. Well, what we're thinking is that this other lifeguard girl might be the Barb of this season. You know, the early in the season sacrificial lamb, right?
Pour one
and
out
that
for Barb.
maybe after getting sucked in this place, she returns, maybe hooks up with Billy, infects him with this bite, maybe, and turns him into this infestation that turns him into that big nasty monster that we saw. And they could be going in to check in on Billy at the hospital, and then he morphs into this Carpenter-y, Cronenberg-y thing. And the reason I have Jake Busey up there, other than I think Jake Busey's awesome and totally unhinged, if you look at his chest there, it looks like he has a similar bite, like kind of a bloody bite mark. He could be another person who's infested with this thing. And that could be the type of monster we see, as opposed to some interdimensional
It's
thing.
a pretty good way to get rid of unlikable characters.
Yeah, they're going out the worst possible way ever. It looks like
Sorry, that's the worst way to go? No,
That one?
at least you get to terrorize and that's a pretty sick way to go.
I feel
The
like
worst
the
was
inside
Barb's
is
way to go, which is just
Barb's just
Gone.
horrible.
Forgotten.
Yeah.
and no
Didn't
one cares.
exist.
exactly.
Yeah.
Your friend ignores you, and then you're gone.
Yeah.
Bad
And
news
then you kind of have
bears.
a brief season 2 subplot where they try to investigate what happened, but then it just turns to be set up for shipping at the end of the season.
Classic.
Right? That's all it really was. Well, there's a lot of different ways to look at this. I think the idea of characters transforming into something else as opposed to fighting some other external threat is a new way that they haven't gone yet. And I think that could be a fun thing to explore in the season.
Yeah, see, I'm not thinking about that. I'm thinking that we've gone from the Arcadia in season 2 to Vaporwave this time around, and that aesthetic is sick.
I'm really on board with Teens Summer fighting monsters. Also, I mentioned Tremors earlier, but we're kind of on the same trajectory where it was like big monster, scary one. Then little ones that ran around.
Super cute.
And then the third one, they fly. We're going to get a flying one this one. That's what happened. I watched that sci-fi original movie, and it's not good. But I've watched it.
Well, I think I mentioned the Starcourt Mall. The final episode of the season's titled Battle or Showdown at the Starcourt. And I love the idea of
great.
setting this in a mall. Reminds me of that Are You Afraid of the Dark episode where they it's in a mall, but it's inside a video game, but they shot it in a mall. This idea of using a mall as a setting for a final battle, almost that kind of nerdy battle. It's perfect for the 80s.
There was a really terrible 80s B movie where it was robots got taken over by something, and they were killing and eating humans I wish I remember what it's called, but I
love
saw
it.
it as a kid and it stayed with me forever. But it's terrible, so it's definitely, and I grew up in the 80s, so everything happened in a mall. If you weren't at the mall, you didn't exist.
Yeah.
Is online shopping your favorite thing in the world now, though?
I still miss going to a mall.
Shopping
do everything
center.
there.
Shopping center.
Yeah,
It's fun.
It's weird how we feel sad that malls are disappearing, but the fact that malls were a new thing in this 80s era, it seems to be a subplot of this new season. We see a bunch of protesters saying save Hawkins downtown, repeal the mall or something. I think a lot of the small businesses of Hawkins are worried that they're going to go out of business with the creation of this new Starcourt Mall.
That's cute because their biggest thing they're protesting is the new mall instead
Yeah.
of a portal to hell opened up.
Stick up bigger problems,
Yeah,
guys.
I know we can't tell you about it, but it's this is such small potatoes. This stuff doesn't matter. But fine, go ahead and protest it.
Hey, here's my theory on this. What if they're part of the same conspiracy, right? What if the new Starcourt Mall is being built on the grounds of the
I
Hawkins
love it.
Energy
I
Lab?
love it.
And
I
they're
love
really
it.
also protesting the fact that they're trying to cover up
I love
this
it.
conspiracy by putting a mall on top of it. Then we get into some poltergeist Indian burial ground
Oh, yeah,
territory
yeah.
and some
And
real
also
crazy stuff
Buffy
happening.
on top of the Hellmouth.
Yeah, on the Hellmouth.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh
Eric,
my
screw you,
God.
because if that doesn't happen, I'm going to be sorely upset and disappointed.
Everything happens at the mall.
Everything happens at the mall.
Gang, watch out. Lots of stuff happening at the mall. Really excited about that. You get that feel of a little bit more budget. There's
Yes.
we made a joke, but it was more extras. But the CGI looks legit. In season 2, it was definitely a step up from season 1. But with this tomato exploding in a microwave monster coming out with all of its teeth coming out of every arm.
Hey.
It's I love it. I love this, and I'm so excited to see.
Sorry, but microwaving tomatoes is actually really quite frightening.
It-
So, if you don't
Grapes,
mind.
tomatoes, poof. Yeah.
A little bit of
Be
respect,
eating
please.
these tomatoes and experimenting on them.
Hey, do you think Billy's gonna make it out if he does go inside out?
No, he's done for.
I hope he is. I didn't like him.
I didn't like him either.
He was a fun one to watch. I think the only fun thing about his character was with
His hair.
Mrs. Wheeler and the mom, and the hair.
My favorite thing about this, though, is that we don't really have to speculate because as soon as it's out, you just binge it in one go. There
you go.
It's
Yeah.
not cliffhangery.
That's right.
You just press next.
Yeah, and
Are
I-
you still watching? Hell yeah, I am. Netflix.
I think that's my kind of concern with these seasons. We were talking about this before the show, that like because the Netflix model is they give you all the content all at once. You watch all 8 episodes,
You
and
talk
then you
about it
wait
for 2
like
weeks.
Yeah, you wait another year and a half before the next season comes out. It took me a second. I had to like remind myself of all the
Mm-hmm.
characters' names, especially the new ones from season 2. It's like I love this trailer. I think they did a really good job. If it wasn't as exciting of a trailer, I don't know if I'd be as excited for season 3.
What are their
Yeah.
names again?
That being said, though,
Yeah, I don't remember any of
they
their
make a
names.
hell of a
Will
trailer.
11,
They make a really,
Mike,
really good trailer.
Lucas.
Yeah, I like
Dustin.
this trailer a lot. I'm
Yeah.
in. I'm
great
in.
music,
Woo!
great editing for sure, and lots of fun Easter egg references to past seasons. He has the Farrah Fawcett hairspray that Steve told him to use for his new hairstyle. That he sprays in Lucas's face, and on the
Lucas.
mixtape that he listens to at the beginning is it says Will the Wise on it, which is like a reference to his D&D wizard character that he played. Yeah,
who
so
was very proficient in fireball.
Fireballs.
There
Yeah.
you go.
Because that's what my D&D character would do. 66 damage, guys. There's the nerd cred. Thank you.
Roll that natural 20 as we move on to our trivia question this week.
I just got new dice as well.
Ooh.
So
Big day.
Maud's going to ask her a question. The loser, as always, will have to join the GIF of Shame Society.
Alrighty, trivia questions this time. Please select your cards and pens to fill out your questions in an appropriate and timely manner. Thank you very much. This one is, which 80s movie spawned 6 sequels and a TV series?
All right, all of our answers are here in the bucket. As always, we'll reveal the answer at the end and see what movie in the 80s spawned 6 seasons in a movie or 6 movies in a season.
6 movies and a TV series.
6 sequels and a TV series.
Yeah, sounds good. Okay, before we continue, we wanted to give a quick shout out to this week's sponsor, Care of. Care of is a service that makes and delivers personalized vitamins. With Care of, it's super easy to be a good boy or girl and take your vitamins. Now, I've been taking mine for a while now, and it's been great. They come in these convenient little packets, so you can barely have to think about it. And you know what? I feel pretty great. Wasn't phased at all by whatever was just happening. Now, you start by taking an online quiz where they ask you about your diet and your goals. They put together the exact right vitamin concoction for you. And they've even got an app that lets you track your progress and earn rewards for remembering to take your vitamins. Good for you. They also have vegan and vegetarian options available if that's your thing. Take advantage of this special offer available through the end of March for 50% off your first month of personalized Care of vitamins. Just go to takecareof.com and enter Rockstars50. Again, that's takecareof.com and Rockstars50 for half off your first month of vitamins.
Whew. Gosh, I hate how funny I think I am.
Well, Sam, what else did we learn of this
Ooh,
week?
buckle up, kids. Because we got some news. This week, people are revisiting something the Russo brothers said on a podcast shortly after Infinity War came out. Now, here's the full quote. Buckle up. We look at the trailer as a very different experience than the movie, and I think audiences are so predictive now that you have to be very smart about how you craft a trailer, because an audience can watch a trailer and basically tell you what's going to happen in the film. Interesting. We consume too much content, so at our disposal are lots of different shots and that aren't in the movie that we can manipulate through CG to tell a story that we want to tell specifically for the purpose of the trailer and not for the film.
What-
The too long didn't read version of this is they put fake stuff into trailers on purpose.
Is that because of what outlets like who?
Who
Who do you think
Good name.
put things apart or predicts
Yep,
things?
I've
to
never seen them.
Yep,
to the point.
I
Not
don't
aware
know
of
what
it.
they're talking about.
Oh, not a clue. But we already kind of knew this because of who we are, of course. And that,
We predicted this would happen.
yeah.
He's out here.
And you guys probably did too with the shot of the Hulk running in Infinity War. In
Yeah, it
those
wasn't in the movie.
trailers.
Not the movie.
He wasn't there.
The reason we're all talking about this now is because people are starting to wonder which shots from the Avengers Endgame trailers are fake. One popular theory is the shot of Tony wearing the white and red suit with his peeps. He's hanging out with him. He's walking through the terminal, doing a catwalk. What do you guys think?
He's
Any
dead.
other ideas?
You think
is
he's
he
dead?
dead?
He
Is
didn't
he
make
dead
it.
during this scene?
But they put him in there so that you wouldn't be like, why is he missing?
Because he
I
got
don't think
Robert
he's
Downey
dead.
Jr. gets you in seats.
Yeah.
You have to show him.
His face is always the biggest on the poster. Pull it up. Look at that.
Wow.
Massive thumb. Thanos is bigger, but he just have half a profile.
Oh,
That's a
man.
big-
Can we just...
Look at him compared to Ruffalo.
Can we just have a little moment to appreciate Karen Gillan just for a second, guys? Like,
A
look
little-
at the, come
yeah.
in, get close full
Little
screen
waist of
again
parts
on that.
down
There she is.
Yeah.
Rockets down below.
Okay,
Chris.
I think the Russos are full of crap, and here's why.
He's below.
You know what they
he's in
also
the-
said?
He's right
Shortly,
here.
I'm just going to keep plowing forward. They also said that Endgame was not the title of the movie in June. When some cinematographer on the movie put it on his online resume, I worked on Avengers Endgame. Everyone's, I freaked out. We did a video about it. And then they said, oh, no, it's not Endgame. So I
And
like that they
man
do
never
this.
worked again.
Yeah, it's good that they're throwing doubt and causing speculation. We don't want anything confirmed for sure.
Well,
to
we
be
know
before
things
the
that are already
movie.
happening after this movie, so let's try and enjoy this as much as we can.
Yeah.
I like that they're being cagey. If they need to show some stuff to kind of, get people excited, tease a little bit, I get it. It's foreplay. It's important. But,
I love that they do it constantly because I remember during the press tour for Infinity War, they said anybody who's dusted is going to stay dead. And then they revisited, somebody asked them again, maybe a few months ago or a year ago, I forget what, but it was like a Q&A. And they're like, oh no, we don't know who's dead. And it's like,
Right.
but you said...
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like,
can't
you
take
made me
them for their word.
very upset by saying that, and
Yeah.
now you're taking it back? I don't think so.
Coward, stick to your word.
I think we're right to be skeptical, especially with that big group jogging shot at the end of Infinity War trailer with Hulk's in Hulk form in Wakanda running. There are some theories that could be a shot in Avengers Endgame, and they put it in there,
They
but
do
we'll
No,
see
had they
that.
recorded it by then?
They shot him at the same time.
Yeah.
Oh,
They
goodness.
did, but they keep using
Okay.
the same promotional photo of Hulk. Have you seen that since Ragnarok? He's always just like,
Oh, yeah.
look and find that photo. So it's like, and it's the same one that's on the cover of Empire, and it's the same one that's on the poster of Infinity War. It's the same exact pose. So maybe. And and there was that toy of the Hulk bursting out of the Hulkbuster suit, hulking out of it. That never happened.
Well, speaking of toys,
Hulkamaniacs.
they have said that like 99% of what you see in toys are wrong because they were asked about the white armor. And then, sure enough, the next trailer,
Had it.
that must have been one of the 1% of things that, like, I think they do say these things. They're playing this kind of like wild goose chase with us, and I think it's fun. We'll play along, but like, I don't think we're necessarily confirmed. Like, it takes a lot of effort and budget to CGI and VFX everything, to VFX people's faces on things.
They're sprinkling it.
Yeah, if you want to put, I understand what they're saying about like treating the trailers like they're their own separate thing because I like movies that do that. The Social Network
Nothing's more
trailer's different from
disappointing
the
than watching the trailer and being like, well, I just saw the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, they're doing a very good job trying to like hold back as much as possible and really just kind of pull at your heartstrings because at
Yeah.
22 movies in, you're seeing it. This is the 23rd.
Oh, goodness.
This 22nd.
20. This is 22.
22.
Captain Marvel is 21.
There you go.
Yeah.
And it's just like, yeah, we're invested. We're gonna do it. All they have to do is just kind of say a few key lines, and we're there.
I kind of like that they're reflecting back instead of looking forward. I like that. I thought that was a smart thing to do.
Yeah.
They did do a little bit of that for Infinity War. There was one trailer that was great where it was Thanos had his hand up, he closed the fist, and it dinged or made a snap or whatever, and then it started playing like key moments from every trailer of every movie leading up to it. And it was like, oh, sick of this, all leading to this, and now
Yeah.
they're doing it again because you have to. It's the end.
It's the end game.
It's the
It's
end
literally
game.
the end
Right.
game.
But yeah, I mean, if anything, like you saw Ant-Man jump over a pencil, like maybe that's
Sick.
not real. Yeah, like maybe that's
Big
not
old
real.
pencil jumping.
Yeah.
We're going to move on to a new little thing called Pitch Me. We haven't done one of these for a little
Oh,
while,
right.
but what we're doing with Pitch Me is basically I'm going to set these guys a task and they're going to pitch me an idea, and you guys can join in too in the comments. So this week we learnt that the MCU movies from phases 1, 2 and 3, so everything from Iron Man to Avengers Endgame, is going to be known collectively as the Infinity Saga. So today we're bringing back Pitch Me, and with this one I want you guys to pitch me names for the next phase or phases of the MCU. So to give you a little bit of inspiration and time to think, I'm going to remind you that phase 4 is going to start with Spider-Man Far From Home and is going to include Black Panther 2, Captain Marvel 2, Doctor Strange 2, Me 2, and Guardians of the Galaxy 3. The Eternals movie and some of the already announced Disney Plus shows will be in that as well. So we've got the Infinity Saga. what is the next phase with the MCU going to be, or phases? Who's got one ready?
I do.
Go, Eric.
Okay, well, here's the idea. So the Infinity Saga refers to the Avengers storyline. That's a connective tissue throughout phases 1, 2, and 3. It doesn't necessarily refer to Spider-Man Homecoming or what Doctor Strange was. Well, that did have an Infinity Stone in it. But not all the movies connected to an Infinity theme. That's just like the main thing we remember this era as. So what will we remember the next era of Marvel as? Well, they're getting access to the X-Men, right? So I think a lot of these other stories will come out, but they may not tie into the existence and the evolution of X-Men into the Marvel world. And I think that's going to dominate the next era. I think Kevin Feige is going to figure out the way he wants to tell these X-Men stories, get different directors, maybe focus on some different characters who aren't Mystique, and 'cause she's played a weirdly big role in all the X-Men
Wolverine.
movies.
I mean,
Yeah, or Wolverine,
but,
yeah.
Like, you kind of have to do Wolverine.
You got it. Wolverine's a big guy, but Cyclops
short,
has never
but
been
he's
done
like-
justice, I feel like, in these X-Men movies.
Gambit.
Oh God.
It's just a matter of time. The pieces got to come together. It's
Yeah.
so close.
So I think the next phase might be the X generation or Generation X or something with X in the
That's
title.
funny because I was thinking, I'm like, it's going to be something like the new class or the new
Yeah,
kids
yeah.
because everybody's brand new. They're introducing more female characters, more diverse characters. And I'm pretty sure in Endgame, we're going to say goodbye to a lot of our old favorites. Maybe just have them appear as cameos or mentors further. So it's similar. I'm not sure how much they're going to incorporate the X-Men, or at least the X-Men as we know it right now. And it'll be interesting to see, especially considering that Fox property is Deadpool and Disney is definitely not doing R-rated.
Right.
So it's kind of wide open, but similar.
Kids.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
I feel like when moving forward, we mentioned this in a previous segment, or I did it, is that they're 22 movies in, they can trust their audience. You can't. I don't know if you can keep doing that. Like, I know it's like this is like basically these are like this is a season of a show, and if you're watching the finale, they kind of expect that you've watched enough to know what's happening. Like it's not. I mean, I can't really feel bad for you if you had questions after Infinity War, like who's the guy in Africa? What's that guy? And it's like that's your fault if you don't know what that is. And I feel like you need to kind of do. I like the idea of reintroducing. I like that idea, and also since we're playing with time travel a lot, when it like a lot of the theories
why?
for this movie are time travel.
Why?
What I would say is a fun enemy that you could throw in there is Kang, and Kang is like a time traveling, like he's lived throughout all of history, depending on which book you're reading. That also could be a lead into a younger team of Avengers, like the Young Avengers, which is a really cool character as well. When it comes to the name, though, I like Back in Time, and now no one's going to use that one, but then you can play the Huey Lewis song basically the whole time, and I
Power
really
of
like
Love.
that. Yeah.
Throwing a DeLorean somewhere.
Yeah. They'll buy that soon. Give them time. They're going to buy
Disney
it.
will own everything.
Or like Galactus would be a cool one as like
Yeah.
a big bad. That would be a
You
cool
know
one going
that.
forward.
Galactic era or something. Yeah.
I'm just going to throw my hat in because if the more guesses, the more likely someone's going to be right. So the fusion phase. 'Cause they're fusing.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Fusion phase. That's all I got.
Wonder
Mine.
Twins, activate,
Yeah.
form of Pail of Water, form of Hawk.
Yes.
That's a fusion. That's the only fusion I can have.
Oh no, Dragon Ball Z fusion between Go.
But I also
10
wonder if, because we knew that
trucks.
the Disney merger was happening, if anything's going to happen in Dark Phoenix later this year, that
Yeah.
might.
Ooh.
It has been
connect
delayed like 3
5
times.
billion times.
Yeah.
Well, what do you think? Let the comments fire up there. You
Yeah,
can't-
tell
I mean,
us what
what's
you,
the worst that's going to happen?
what
You're
you
going to be
think it
wrong.
will be, and maybe what you want this next era to be defined by in the comments below. Let us know. Well, another new trailer came out this week, the Toy Story 4 trailer, and it suggests that this movie might have some pretty intense, deep themes for a kids movie.
Seriously?
It gave us a better idea of the plot. It seems to like it's going to focus on Forky, a toy that Bonnie made in school, and it's made out of a spork and some arts and crafts supplies. It's going to be voiced by Tony Hale. And the question
Oh,
here
that's
is
who it
whether or not
is.
Forky is in fact a toy. He doesn't define himself as a toy. He's a food silverware.
Utensil.
Yeah.
To be used and thrown away.
Yes, disposable. And he doesn't want to be a toy, and he does
Oh,
view
wow.
himself as disposable. And in this trailer, he jumps out of a moving RV.
I didn't even really piece that part together. I thought he was just trying to kill himself. He's like, no, that's how he wants to exist. He wants to be used one time and then thrown away.
He served his purpose.
And get fined for littering. Come on. Now, we also see the return of long-lost character Bo Peep. She didn't exist missed in Toy Story 3. We all thought she suffered some horrible death because there was a line where it's like, right, we lost Bo Peep as well. Incinerator, probably. But no, she's still alive. And she presents a very tempting alternative lifestyle, partying it up with a bunch of other lost toys, opening Woody's eyes that maybe you don't need to be attached to one specific human named Andy who branded his name on your foot. Maybe you can have a more free lifestyle. My question for you guys, where do you think we're going with this? So Forky literally asks, why am I alive? And let's not forget the context of that Tim Allen quote that we saw where he said, this is going to blow your mind and you're going to sob and want to jump out of a moving RV after. No, he said that he could barely say any of his lines. And Tom Hanks predicted it would be remembered as a, quote, moment in film history. As this is a guy who's been in several moments in film history saying that Toy Story 4 will be the one to change it all. So what the hell does this mean?
When are they going to change it
means
to...
all the toys in the theater that you bring with you will come to life. They will turn to you and they will say your full Christian name and their eyes will light up. Yeah. And you will swap places with them. They'll take over.
Yeah.
I have no idea.
They do have those creepy little toys in the corner over there, so who knows? Maybe.
Yeah, my goodness.
The dummies,
This
the
is
ventriloquist
nightmare
dummies.
fuel.
Shout out to Slappy for the Goosebump fans out there.
No.
Yeah.
Night of the
Slappy's
Living,
return.
yeah.
Bride of the Slappy. That's not what it is.
Bride of Slappy.
Bride of
Wait,
Slappy.
is this going to be
Seed of-
affectionately known as Toy Story Fork?
Why wasn't that the name?
Toy Story 4.
They're just throwing
Get
forks
forked.
at the screen. It's like the Room screening.
Fork
so you
you.
throw spoons. You throw forks.
throw sporks.
You throw
Yeah.
sporks.
Yeah.
Safer.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of people talk about how they changed Andy's face and how that freaks them out because now he actually looks like a human as opposed to like a PlayStation 1 generation character.
He looks like the baby doll head with the crab claws. He looks like that,
Yeah.
but he has the hair on him.
Right.
There
Now,
is actually nightmare fuel in every single one of the Toy Stories so far.
Every Pixar
when-
movie.
Yeah.
They're almost cooked alive in the last one.
Yeah.
That's a rough one.
You
They
all
accept
die.
death.
Oh, it's crazy. I have my daughter's 11 now, so she's grown up with a lot of the Toy Story movies, and she just grasps the concept right away. So this whole like existential thing, she's been asking me about death and life since she was like 3 or 4 years old. So I'm like, yeah, this fits.
Thanks,
Yeah.
Pixar.
My
Pixar
nephew keeps whispering we're all gonna die, but he just does that he does that because he knows it makes everyone uncomfortable. He also stares a lot.
Yeah.
Love you. You're great. You're not gonna be watching this. There's cursing. Don't watch it.
Go to bed.
Go to bed. I honestly like it's an interesting concept. The idea that like we've made toys. Everyone's made a toy, or they've drawn something and it meant a lot to them. So that's a fun idea. But it almost feels like a step too far, where it's just like it doesn't want to be alive, or it grasps that it was a thing that was inanimate, that didn't have a meaning. I mean, it had a meaning.
It's like, okay, here we go. In Deathly Hallows, you're not supposed to actually bring anyone back from the dead because they're never truly alive. So it's like, you just don't mess with that. It's that kind of thing where it was inanimate, and now it's like, I have this thing in this life that I didn't ask for.
But then where does it begin and end for the toys that are molded in like their sewn clothes? Like those are other products used to make something else, and they use like
Well, it's called Toy Story because there's going to be an end to this.
You'd think
It's
with
the
the
story.
third, you
The
think
the
with the
story.
third it should have ended.
Walking Dead's a story, and Robert Kirkman never wants to end it. Neither does AMC.
That's the story in the title, guys.
Yeah.
I'm
still getting over the fact that you said that we were never truly alive in Deathly Hallows. I'm going to be haunted by that. Was that why like humans were never living? So we never really die? What?
Oh no!
What did I just hear?
Dead people who come back are never really alive. That's
That's you can't completely bring someone back from the dead and they resume their normal living
I
life.
thought you were saying that all the wizards
That's
in
also
Harry
the
Potter
plot
are
for
dead.
Pet Cemetery. So
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
super excited about that one.
Yeah, I saw that trailer and
I have seen it.
Ooh.
Ha.
Speaking of resurrection.
There you go.
Oh, there we go. White Walkers, am I right? That's right. HBO has released an official poster for the final season of Game of Thrones. Now, for our podcast listeners, we're going to describe it for you. It's basically the the Iron Throne with all the swords poking out. But when you scroll down, it kind of fuses with the head of a dragon.
Oh.
So it's kind of like all in one, encompassing. It's basically the most important things of Game of Thrones together. Yeah. So, guys, tell us, does this say anything about the final season? Does it suggest that a Targaryen will sit on the Iron Throne? Or is it that the throne isn't very comfortable?
It's not
Really?
comfortable. It's
That's what I'm reading?
It's an ouchie. It's like dragon scales that they don't look comfortable to ride, as the throne doesn't look comfortable to sit in. There's,
No, it means if you've got the dragons, you have the throne. Come on, guys.
Right.
Well-
So it's a throne in and of itself, the back of a dragon. I'd take that over a stupid throne in the south. Hey, we talked about a theory last episode or 2 weeks ago.
Last week.
The idea that the Night King might divide his army. He'll go south to King's Landing.
He's got enough of them.
Convert all the Golden Company and march north with the power of the Iron Throne and his new queen, Cersei, and attack the forces of men up in the north. So maybe that's what they're saying here. This, even though it's got red eyes, not blue, this could be meaning a dragon is coming from the same place the Iron Throne is. Hey, I'm reaching,
Yeah.
but I'm grasping.
See, I don't think he would need to separate because he now has a dragon. Remember from the last,
just
so
fly.
he could just send the dragon.
That's by itself.
Be like,
Yeah.
peace, I'll be back in 2 days with everyone dead.
Right.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You were making a comment about the number of swords, though.
Oh
which is
yeah,
cool.
like the scales, the little spikes that are sticking up from the dragon. There's actually 7 at the very top,
Yeah.
which represent the 7 kingdoms, I think.
The Seven Kingdoms, the light of the 7, or is Liza? Yeah, the father, the mother, the warrior, the smith, the
Ross,
craven,
Rachel,
the
Joey.
Ross,
Stranger.
yeah.
There's a stranger in there.
Right. There's a stranger. There's always a stranger.
Stranger things have happened.
Yeah.
But it goes from and they look like swords. So maybe, and then at the
that-
bottom you see 2 that are very much swords. I
Yeah,
can't
the
really
pommel
tell
and
what's on them.
This is
but
Jon Snow and Daenerys. Okay.
they're definitely house symbols.
One of them, it looks like a cross. The other one is a cross, and the other one looks like a flower being blown.
I'm not well versed in my house sigils, but I do know that this
Hilt.
this throne was forged by Aegon the Conqueror.
Like
yes,
the old and the new.
and
yeah.
he forged it when he created the Westeros as a nation,
Oh,
fusing all 7 kingdoms.
They describe that in season 3 of the show, and it's Varys who tells the story, and it's Peter Baelish who says that that's actually quite embellished, and it's a bit of a lie. It's not
Right.
2,000
All
swords; it's
history.
barely even 200 swords.
print the
Rewatching
legend.
is good. I'm paying attention to stuff.
That's one of the best scenes of the show. The 2 of them.
That's the Chaos is a Ladder one.
Oh yes, my favorite scene.
It's
of
a
the show.
it's a good one.
Yeah.
Except I don't like Peter Baelish. Chaos is a ladder. You
Chaos
can
is a
climb
ladder.
it. That's
Yes.
it. Okay, thanks, bud. All right.
All right. Well, what other news? do we
Oh,
learn?
buckle up, kids, because we're hearing that Black Adam, the DC character that The Rock has been in talks to
Oh,
play
yeah.
forever, will not appear in Shazam. That's a bummer, but will instead appear in his own movie before the Shazam sequel. That is weird. But next, Benedict Wong confirms his Avengers Infinity War character Wong is alive and guarding the Sanctum as a replacement Sorcerer Supreme. Nice, good on ya. Rumor has it the upcoming Star Wars trilogy from Game of Thrones showrunners Benioff and Weiss will focus on the Old Republic and have a Star Wars meets Lord of the Rings vibe.
Oh,
Yeah, it's not bad. But
I'm
also,
about that.
it sounds pretty interesting. But also interesting, Joe Russo's daughter Ava has a secret cameo coming up in Avengers Endgame. Some suspect that she may be playing Hawkeye's daughter as she's being taught how to, shoot arrows,
Oh, is
archery,
that
and
her?
whathat. But it's unconfirmed. We don't
Okay.
know. Yeah, I saw
I'll look at
a
that
side-by-side photo, and I was like, that's it.
She's a woman.
That
This is-
same
this is
long
her.
hair.
Pikachu, didn't he?
There she is. Yes, of course. But also this week, it was confirmed that Danny DeVito was considered for the role of Detective Pikachu. He even went in Red Lines, and they made a mistake. I like Ryan Reynolds in that
Why did-
movie. That would have been amazing.
That's Danny DeVito. I
look
see
at
that.
him.
That's Frank.
That's Frank from It's Always Sunny.
Yeah.
Oh my God, it is.
I mean, don't get me wrong. Ryan Reynolds' voice is great, but the voice of Deadpool is not the voice I think of with Pikachu.
No,
I'm excited
I
for
think
that movie.
of Frank Reynolds.
Yes,
I can't unhear Deadpool though.
Yeah.
You know?
that's
Yeah.
kind of the issue. Yeah.
Now he's got everything. But speaking of having everything, the Disney-Fox merger is now complete. That's right. Mickey Mouse and Bart Simpson officially live right in the same studio. It's crazy time right now, huh?
Yeah, singularity's beginning. Drink up.
We will be one. It's
Yeah.
pretty interesting.
Yeah.
Well, hey, X-Men are on their way, right? Pretty exciting. But I think it's
Yay.
time for the lightning round.
Yeah,
isn't it?
so we have it up on the
Yeah.
Oh, weather's looking
There it goes.
Kinda
Oh, it's on the
crazy.
prompter this time
Yeah.
around. Oh, goodness me. Yeah, it is lightning round. You guys tweeted questions. We've got some of them up on the screen. I'm going to fire them at my co-host. You have to answer them as quickly and without hesitation as possible. Are you
boy.
ready? Here we go, Yolanda. You are up first. This one's from Ryan Hins14, who said, if you could be one Disney animated character from your childhood, who would it be?
Oh God, Belle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Always,
Belle's
forever,
got it made.
easy.
Yeah.
Just don't get Stockholm Syndrome. Hey, Sam, at Kana Shiatsu Duo.
Nailed it.
Why'd you have to put a dark blue? That's what I'm blaming it on. Said, what was the stupidest accident you had as a child?
Oh, I challenged them when you guys tweeted out. I was like, I will say the most embarrassing things. Dumbest accident.
What'd you do?
What'd
you zip your pee-pee or something? What's going on?
I think the first one that comes to my mind is that I cut my little brother's hair with some kindergarten scissors and then I blamed him for it. That's not an accident.
You knew what you were doing.
One time I got locked out of the house and 100%. And it was
What was 100%?
well, I was gonna say a curse word and I didn't want to, but it was
I've said 2
Lost
already.
all my clothes.
they
You got naked?
little pooped my pants, and right when I saw my mom in a different car pull into the driveway, and I was like, "Well, there's 2 for you, next."
Why did you do that?
They were at home and I was locked out.
So you waited and you had to do
You're like, might as well.
It was an emergency.
You didn't get travel butt
With travel butt.
or travel ass?
You can just
It's like
hold.
where like your body is just like, no, I will wait till we get back to the hotel.
I ran out of time.
That's what I get.
Maud at Anti-Human Jazz says, what's your favorite nostalgic smell? Jasmines. These flowers that were at the holiday house that we used to venture out every single Christmas, and every time I smell it, it's like, yay.
Aww.
I'll have them at my wedding if I ever get married. Ha, kidding, I'm
What just
eloping.
happened?
Eric at YouTube Critic 4 said, what Disney character do you think would work best in the Marvel Universe? Tell us about your childhood.
When have you
Yeah. I would say Stitch. Stitch might work. Or the Incredibles. Yeah, Incredibles, definitely.
Oh, there you go.
They're called the
Hello.
Fantastic Four. They're the same character types. Think about it.
Sam, you're up next with at Jonesy_86, Rescue Rangers or Tailspin?
Rescue Rangers.
Yes, good answer.
Rescue Rangers.
Chip and Dale?
We're paying for this music.
Oh, yeah.
We're singing.
Whoop.
If you get dinged for that, cheers, Disney. That's a good one to catch.
Singularity.
Eric at Maraschino Terry says top 3 Disney Channel original movies.
Oh, sure. We'll start with Lizzie McGuire. It's amazing. Famous Jet Jackson, followed by Even Stevens.
I would not have been able to answer that question.
There's some
Well, thanks
movies.
for not
He
asking.
has a-
I
No,
know
it's
High
original
School
movies.
Musical.
Oh, movies? Okay, well, Famous
yeah.
Jet Jackson had an original movie, but those are my 3 series. Lizzie McGuire also. I think they all got their original movies, too.
Yeah,
Okay, so we'll start with Brink. Brink was amazing. Johnny Tsunami and Xenon Girl of the 21st Century.
I've never heard of
Zeus Lapidus. Let's move on.
any of those except Lizzie
Yeah.
McGuire. At Sunday Duck for me says, what was the first movie you saw in the theater? It was actually The Little Mermaid.
Really?
And then it was Hook.
Mine was E.T.
Oh no.
Mine was Beauty and the Beast. I saw
The only
that.
one I remember is Iron Giant, and that was not the first, but the one I remember.
Oh, I cried
Well, you
at Little
blocked out a lot.
I
Mermaid.
blocked out a lot of embarrassing stuff.
A lot of locked out sides.
I think watching The Little Mermaid first in the theater really messed me up because I can't date a guy unless he can look like Prince Eric. Anyway, Sam at Tonogwan says, what were your favorite toys? Mine were the Millennium Falcon and a truck that transformed into a racetrack for tiny cars. Oh my God,
Ooh,
Micro
those are good
Machines.
toys. Yeah.
Is that what they were? Did you
it-
get Micro Machines?
I did
my
not.
gosh, yeah,
I was
stocking
I was a Beanie Baby boy through and through. Still
What?
am. Beanie Baby
What?
boy. Yeah, Beanie Babies. Collect them. I have them in a trash bag and somewhere in my parents' garage. There
They're
were
not
something
there.
one
They're
day.
gone.
It was a
They're forkies.
moose one and a tree frog.
Oh,
Yeah.
I can see
Yeah,
that.
you remember the tree frog one? It was a popular one.
Meanwhile, Maud's playing with Optimus Prime with the cannon shooting out the back, but yeah, cool.
the frog, you could make it jump and it lands like a frog.
I don't get it either, guys. Yolanda, we've got one here from original Huggy who said first movie crush.
Oh, this one's easy. John Cusack in The Incredible Journey of Natty Gann. It was like 1986. And I still have a big crush on him. Hi, John.
If you're watching, John, you know what to do. At Tiger Lily Star wants to ask all of us, what was the first video game you ever played and were you any good at it? Oh, yeah, I still play it.
I'll go quick. Joe and Mac was the first one my brother would let me play, but myself I played Pokemon Red because that was the first console that like my parents gave me.
Mine was the MS-DOS, I think in like 1990 or 91, and it was a game called NetHack, and it had zero graphics. You were an @ symbol, and you had to like just press your way around these dungeons, and your dog was a little lowercase d. Anyway, I found it on emulator, and I play it all the time still.
Nice.
Oh.
It's a dungeon crawler.
Mine is really old. It was from like something called Intelligence or Atari, and it was kind of like that. What is that that thing?
Oh,
where,
Pong.
Yeah.
Dude,
Oh, yeah.
dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I was born in 1978, guys. So like,
You're like, I got this. No, it's time for 50.
Real quick, sorry.
No,
Mine, Super
you didn't
Mario
play
Brothers
anything.
3, I think, was the first one I remember, and I was terrible at it because I was a little kid. My older siblings had an old school Nintendo, and that everyone had Super Mario Brothers 3. That was yeah.
Beep,
And
beep, beep, beep.
I wish I knew all the, like my brother knew all the secrets. You crouched on the white blocks and you go behind everything because it's all a theatrical production. That's the theory. That's the game theory on that one, right? Yeah,
Sure.
it's a curtains. It begins with curtains.
Oh.
Matt Pass just like, duh. Okay, well, now comes the time for our 15-second shout out. This is where each of us has 15 seconds to shout out, plug, ramble about anything they want. Sam, do you got something?
Yeah, I've been working on a brand new project, and you can find out more about it on my Twitter at Sam Bashor. Wow, that's super vague, but I'm going to use my time that way. 2 weeks, that's when it's coming out.
Great.
Can I ask a question? What is it?
It's new.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's fair.
You're welcome.
Okay, for my 15 seconds, April 5th, 2 Fridays from now, will be my third ever Darkest Timeline comedy showcase. Maude and Sam will be joining us. Philip will be there too. We'll have some special guests, maybe Nick Fury. It'll be a lot of fun. Check out the description for the ticket info on that.
Shout out to me. I'm still binging Game of Thrones. And I'm like halfway through technically 4 seasons of it. I've finished
Nice.
3.5 seasons. No, 4. I've finished 4.5 seasons out of 6. 7.
So what
7.
episode are you on right now?
Crap. I've got one more before the Red Wedding.
It's a fun
So
place
you're
to
still
be.
on season 3.
Yes, but I've
Yeah.
already finished season 6 because I didn't think I'd be able to watch all of it in time. So I started at 6, smashed it in 2 days, and went, all right, cool, I'm going to start back at 1. And that's what I'm doing. But I have to finish all of season 1, Killing Eve, in that time as well because I'm doing the red
so
carpet for season 2. So
Yeah.
I've got to fit that in as well. So guys, I don't have a life. So shout out to me because I'm sacrificing things.
I did that with Smallville, but voluntarily.
Yeah, but that's just no.
It was, I'll tell you, it was not as good. It's not as good as
You
the
were
shows
literally
you're
walking around
watching.
going, somebody save
I bought a
me."
poster on Amazon for $2. It was great.
God.
Well, I've got a crazy busy month, so just follow me on Twitter. It's Sassy Mama in LA, and you could follow. I'm going to Pixar for Toy Story 4. I'm going to be doing Star Wars Celebration coverage. I'm going to be doing coverage for Endgame and Killing Eve and Game of Thrones, and it's a very tiring to think about. But follow me there.
All right, now comes the time to return to our trivia question that we asked earlier. So as a reminder, the loser, as decided by our judges, will have to draw from the gift of shame and have their foolishness broadcast to the world for all of us to judge and laugh at. So Maude, if you could remind us of the
The
question.
question is, which 80s movie spawned 6 sequels and a TV series?
Oh, this counts. Yeah.
Well, first up, Eric wrote The Land Before Time.
Is that 80s? Was it a TV
no,
series?
it started in the 90s.
right.
91, I believe. I had
Okay,
the Sarah toy.
Maude said Batman, which might...
Kind of.
Yeah, kind of several
Well-
TV series there.
Police
rolled your
Academy,
eyes.
says Yolanda. Police Academy.
Oh,
There was a
yeah.
show?
Yes,
I didn't
very
realize there were that
briefly.
many
Oh.
sequels.
And Sam says Tremors and Terminator.
Yeah.
You just did 2, did you?
Are they part
I
of the same universe?
said I was going to say 2 because Tremors and had a show and it had like 7 to 8 sequels.
You get one guess
I
though.
think
And
Tremors
Terminator.
had 5
Yeah, which one are you gonna go
sequels.
with?
They went back in time. They with Jamie Kennedy and then they have another one.
Terminator might be up. Yeah.
I could be wrong. I have
Terminator
not been
did have a
keeping
series,
up.
Sarah Connor Chronicles.
And they're
yeah.
on 6. They did not have 6 sequels, so I'm wrong about
How many
Terminator.
Batman movies have there
upcoming
been
one.
since the 80s?
There's
More
been
than
like
6.
9.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
There's a few.
Well,
Well,
the correct answer.
the correct answer is Police Academy.
Oh, well done. I didn't realize there were that many Police Academy
Pays
movies.
to be old, guys.
There you
Yeah.
go. Who's the furthest wrong?
Yeah.
That's the
who's
best way to ask that
least
question.
Right? Yeah, who's the least right?
Shout out to Tremors a lot in this episode, mainly from me.
Well, I mean,
That was pretty
Sam's
far
put 2
off.
ansers, and we've never been allowed to put 2 answers. So that's
it's
just
on the
blatant.
sheet.
Breakfast.
That's blatant
And
cheating.
no judge said no. No judge said no.
That's
No
just,
judge
that's
said no.
just cheating, really.
And
No judge
really,
said no.
spiritually, Tremors is closer to Police Academy
no,
than
I-
either of your guys'
Sam, I'm
stuff.
driving this bus, running. Like I'm not throwing you under it. I'm driving it.
No,
I'm gonna hit you.
you're not the judge. They are. You just read the question.
I did. I felt very powerful doing it. Batman has had.
Batman's just playing to your
But
your
it started in
the
the
things
80s,
you like.
and it definitely
It started
had,
in the 40s.
Oh,
Yeah.
It's not people, and there's not a show.
Fair enough. Okay, so I lose.
Petrie.
I'm trying for the gift
Poor-
of shame.
poor
This
Petrie.
one says men only on it.
Boy.
Can't do
Oh.
this. Just a boy. Okay. Well, this is what I have to do. Yeah. You know, why am I explaining? I begin every video by saying, hi, I'm Erik Voss, and it's ridiculous because you know who I am. It's just like if I walked in a room and said, hi, I'm Erik Voss. No one would yell at me. Okay. Well, those nipple tassels aren't going to spin themselves, is what it says.
That's mine.
All right. Here I go.
All right.
Yolanda, as our winner, you're going to read our goodbyes while I do this. And so you can just read this starting now.
There you go.
So, thank you for watching or listening to this week's episodes of New Rockstars Debrief. I want to thank our hosts, Maude Garrett at Maude Garrett, Sam Bashor at Sam Bashor, and Erik Voss at EA Voss, and special guest, me, Yolanda Machado, Sassy Mama in LA. Remember that this is available in audio and video form. Videos at youtube.com/newrockstars. And you can get the audio anywhere you get your podcast. And if you use the Himalaya app, you can actually leave comments on the podcast, and it supports the show directly. Comment and tweet us at New Rockstars. Like this video or podcast, share it around, and subscribe to Rockstars for deep dives into the stuff you love. See you next week. Well, maybe not me, but bye.
Bye.
Thanks, Yolanda, our winner of this week.
Tassel got in my mouth.